think I want to talk about the nature of speculation itself. And for a blockchain, there are basically two parts to a blockchain's life cycle. There's before the network exists, and then there's after the network exists. So before a network exists, a blockchain comes in, they offer up a gas token, they distribute it. People go out there and they buy that gas token. You know, they say, "Ooh, I'm going to buy this gas token because you know, look, they're signing on Disney. They're going to have a ton of demand. They're going to be crazy. So when Disney's on board, they're going to need tons of gas tokens. So I'm going to buy gas tokens now, because what that means is that when Disney comes on board after the blockchain is live, it's going to mean that there's a huge demand for these gas tokens to run transactions. So that's kind of what I mean by speculation. Before a blockchain goes live, that speculation is entirely positive to the network. It's an entirely positive effect. And actually, it works extremely well, because you go out there and speculate on, "Ooh, this blockchain is going to be XYZ. You tell your friends, they buy that token. There's a restricted supply, and the price goes up. That's great. That's a great way to operate. If blockchains never went live, that would be a perfect business, probably. But blockchains do ultimately have to go live. They have to have a product out there that exists, and that's their mainnet launch. So from a speculative perspective, they're coming in and they're saying, "Ooh, I think this token will be worth more in the future because the network will be used more." That's great. So now we go into mainnet. And at mainnet, this kind of huge benefit to launching a gas token that is centered mostly around speculation kind of becomes a little bit of a drawback, or a very serious drawback. And you can see why. Because now what you have is this mainnet out there that's live, and you have a ton of users that hold this token. The problem is those users are basically in the position of speculation. They have purchased this asset, right? And they have two options now. They can use it as essentially some kind of speculative thing and hold it or stake it or do whatever, or they can use it as a medium of exchange. They can buy a product or service. So imagine you're an NFT company. You come on out there, you're selling an NFT on this blockchain for like $50. You can't just sell it for $50, because if it's worth 50 and he's trying to sell it for 50, like, nobody's going to buy it. So it's got to be worth, let's say, 60 for it to be a good enough value for a person to purchase it with money, right? So you're buying $60 in value for $50, and that's a good buy. And with US dollar and with a stable coin or US dollars, that would make sense. The problem is when you add in the speculative token, what it means is now the user has a second decision that they essentially have to make. So I have a $60 in value NFT. They're charging $50. So I have to give up $50 worth of this speculative token. Is my speculative token going to be worth more in the future or less? If I think it's going to be worth more, maybe that $10 difference isn't enough, because I think my speculative asset is going to be worth more than 60 in the future, in which case I shouldn't buy it. And this is kind of the kind of root of what's happening here, is people are speculating on the token, which makes them less, or I should say, puts friction between them and using the network, which reduces the speculative value. So you kind of fall into this like cycle where I speculate, which makes me not want to spend it, which makes the future speculative value go down. And you kind of fall into this like spiral. You add into the fact that you have nodes diluting the network into oblivion, the fact that those token fees are, being sent out to validators and things like that are not a part of that economy, and things go a little bit faster. And I think that at that point you fall into this critical mass where you have to amp up that speculation. You have to basically go, "Hey, developer, here's $1 million. Come on board and build. Hey, Starbucks, put our logo on your Twitter. Here's X amount of dollars. Hey, Disney, do this, here's that," because they can't actually turn the network utilization into more speculation. So they have to market it. They have to market that speculation. And that's the nature of blockchain today.